Hi, welcome back to the second part of tonight's show where we're going to preview our big game against Northampton and all the other Champions Cup games. So lads, last time we were over there we had a fairly nice victory. I think we put 40 points on them.
We did.
And
That
then
was 3 years ago.
didn't quite work out so well.
Second round now.
Which leads us to our first of our Twitter question from Dara, who asks, by the way, Dave in Denmark, thanks for watching, who asks, how many points minimum do we need out of the next 2 weeks? He says 2 wins for me, and I did say we need 8. We need 8. Yeah.
Well, last time we were thinking we were going to get 9, and we last play of the match, poor Al Jamie made. I think it was his mistake this decade that he's made.
He's made all his on Saturday.
That's it. So he dropped the ball with the line at his mercy.
Yeah, but there was one man that was spectacular in that match in the Aviva was George North.
Yeah.
They played him in the centre that day, and he was super.
In good form.
But obviously did you see the incident?
I did, yeah.
He looked out cold.
Yeah.
Like they're saying that he was. Like I really think that's lies.
I don't like commenting on things like this because we don't have access to the information the medical people do. But I think they're lying to their arses. I really do.
Don't like commenting, but I'm going to comment severely.
I mean, sometimes it's just so ridiculous. I mean, it was.
And he's such a young guy.
I'm going to call it netgate.
He's a shitload of caps, but he's very young.
Yeah, but he got capped at 17 or 18.
Yeah.
But like when he landed, he looked to be poleaxed.
Yeah.
And then the docks ran on pretty quick. But he kind of moved his foot. But he moved, if you look at it, probably 15...
The coach is shaking his
But
leg.
it's about 15 seconds in that he kind of moves his foot. But for those first 15 seconds, he looks absolutely gone.
Yeah.
Well, for his own health, and, let's face it, no game of rugby is worth anyone's health.
But there's rumours that he's been stood down for this game. I don't know how... Is that definite?
I'm fairly, not absolutely definite, but I'm fairly
They haven't said he is being stood down, but... The optics would be dreadful.
They've sent semaphore signals saying that he's.
I mean, they've decided to allow it to be examined by an independent assessor, and the optics would be dreadful for them. But here's the thing. I mean, he's a huge player for them.
Yeah.
Literally and metaphorically, he's a massive player for them.
Funny you say that because you were bang on, Jason. He had a brilliant game in the centre against us in the second game, but in the first game. He was mercilessly targeted with the boot, and even before the game, they were putting up Gary Jones to his own team, and we were shouting at him, heckling him off the terrace, and he was dropping every one of them. And then in the game, same thing happened. There was raining balls on him, and misses, and he wasn't coping with it, And they also had, didn't they? Your man Ken Peasy was his debut or something.
Yeah, he had a bit of a disaster as well.
Shocker. So we're hoping we catch them because they're in pretty bad form. They had 3 starters and a sub in the English team last week, which is good and bad for them. I mean, it means they haven't been integrated back into the Northampton way. So that's the captain, Dylan Hartley, Tom Wood, who seems to be in a rich vein of form, and who's the other starter? Courtney Laws, who's also in fabulous form. And then they've your man Tamana Harrison, the open side, who came off the bench. So those guys won't have played a whole lot of rugby with Northampton, seeing as England have played 5. I think they played 4 as well. They just played 1. They played the first week. So they've had a big long time without all those guys. They've also got Callum Clark band, who's a bit of a
unsurprising.
Yeah, he's a bit of a
tug.
Yeah, and they're Kieran Brooks as well. Their tight head prop is banned. So they've quite and that's a few injuries on top of that.
Formerly of the Irish underage system.
That's right. They've a few injuries on top of that, and then they've George North. So it is a good time to be meeting them, and they're in shit form. We're beaten by Leicester. They'd no bonus points.
And they've only won 4 of their 10 matches.
They're ninth in the Premiership.
And they were hockeyed by Cast in the opening round of the Champions Cup.
I mean, you can rewind
Second
back to
round.
to any other year of Blues Falcons. I'm going to say the same thing as I always say. They're an English team at home. They are going to give. They mightn't be any good, but they'll give everything they have, and that's. If they click, you could be in trouble because there won't be a paucity of effort from them like there sometimes might be from a French team.
Although less so at home.
Less so at home, but there will be no paucity of effort from Northampton, which is what makes English teams always dangerous, no matter where they are in the league or how they're playing.
True. That's true. It's a chance for them, in fact.
It is a chance for them
off their
to shake off
league
their
form,
yeah, exactly, yeah, to a fresh field, as it were. And Northampton are a great European club. You know, they would see themselves the same way as we see ourselves, or Leicester see themselves as top table diners.
They won a Heineken Cup with Pat Lam.
That's right. Yeah.
Actually, there was rumours that he had
Was
chats with them as well.
Yeah,
So
I think
Malander
I
mustn't.
think he was interviewed.
Jake
Something I was
White,
going to
Eddie
say. That was something I was going to say. Is Malander? The vultures are circling around Jim Malander
Yeah.
at the moment. Like he's not. Their own fans are starting to talk. Starting to want change, and he's there a long time. He's there.
Yeah.
He must be there 5 years at least.
Well, he was there when they were in the final against us in
Well,
2001.
there you go. That's 5 years ago. So he's there more than 5 years. So his voice is probably becoming a little bit echoey around the dressing room now. So could be time for a change. So if we catch them at a bad time, all the better.
If we don't,
we have our own injury worries. It looks like Sexton's almost certainly
he's not
out.
playing. He's not playing. There's no way he's playing.
O'Brien.
O'Brien looks touch and go, and
Hard to
Kearney and
Henshaw
Henshaw look
might
to be,
actually.
No, they look to be good
Yeah.
to go. I think
Um,
they're doing limited training was the
well,
last day.
here's the thing. I mean, Sean, whether Sean makes it or not, I mean, after last week, I would have to say, and I mean, I thought Reece Ruddock had a great game last
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Saturday night. But as far as I'm concerned, the back row should be Conan, Heaslip +1.
Van der Fleer.
Yeah, whether it's Sean or whether it's whatever. Because I think Conan has to. The way he's
We
played
spoke
himself
about we
into
spoke
form.
about the coach taking the conservative option. There's absolutely
He's
no
an
way.
8 and
if-
Ruddock's a 6.
There's
so,
absolutely no way
yeah.
if they have Sean
You don't think so,
O'Brien,
no?
Heaslip, and Van der Fleer all fit that all three don't play.
Okay.
They're the Irish international back row. There's no way that they're going to
Yeah.
pick a non-international and
I
leave an Irish.
just think
international
Conan's
bench.
playing so well.
He's in great form.
He is, he's
I'm
a
not
super-
disagreeing
yeah.
with you at
But
all.
he-
But he's an 8, and he's not
Oh, he
getting
is,
in.
yeah, he is an 8,
Jamie,
yeah,
I've seen him play at 6, but like if you're picking a 6 between him and Ruddock, you're picking Ruddock.
Would
And
say-
if you're picking, if O'Brien is fit, you could start Van der Fleer or Dan Levy or feckin', anybody could play flanker.
Or they could
So-
start, we'd say Conan, or he might say Ruddock, but I'll say Conan and Van der Fleer, and then bring on O'Brien for
Yeah, for either of them.
either of them, and to take the pace up the way the old school way. As
Or
it
you
were.
could put Sean on and see how he goes, and if he only lasts 10 minutes, then you've no worries with Van der Fleer coming on. And if he lasts 50 minutes, hey.
The only thing is, a hip flexor on a heavy pitch wouldn't be. I mean, I don't know what kind of. I don't know. I can't remember the Franklin Gardens pitch what it's like. They might want to save him if he is near to it. They might want to save him for the Aviva, where at least we know the pitches.
Who knows? Well,
Yeah.
in any event, we have no shortage of
Well,
good
this-
form back rowers.
This ties into a question that Irish Underage Rugby tweeted us. He said he was asking who starts at 6, so we've kind of been talking about that. And then the next point, which is going to be controversial, surely Luke McGrath has to start at 9. Are we okay with Adam Byrne starting? I would say that surely
Yes,
either
to
Luke
both of those.
McGrath or Jamison Gibson Park has to start at 9.
I
I wouldn't be so. I thought Luke McGrath played particularly well, but it's 6-1. It's 6 and 2 threes from between them.
I know. Different games, you might choose them. They're starting to shape up a little bit like Boss and Redden. Not two similar types, but two different types of players for different types of games.
I thought he actually had a very good. I thought it was one of the best games
I
I've
think
seen
he
him
had a good
play.
game, all right.
I think Luke McGrath's in good vein of form, and he gives you a lot of things that that Gibson Park doesn't necessarily. Gibson Park is all about the fast pass and the speeding up the game and all that, whereas he's all about the dog and the terrier and he's
Also, he seems to be a leader. He was
Exactly.
captain. Like he's captained.
that's it.
Like he doesn't have a whole load of experience for Leinster, but he's captain Leinster. He's captain the Irish under
He can
20s.
bust a pack about.
And on the other hand, Gibson Park has played plenty of rugby at this level in
Oh, yeah.
Super
Yeah.
Rugby. So
Great
that's
to
the
have
thing.
them
It's 6
both.
and 2 threes. I mean, you could
But I'd
argue the
start-
case for either. I mean, the question is, how are we going to play over there? I mean,
I start McGrath though.
traditionally everyone
For
says,
sure.
"Oh, you go away and you kind of play a limited game." You start off with a 10-man game and see how it works in there. Except the last time we went over there, that's not what we did, and we went completely the other way.
And nobody was expecting
Which
it.
nobody was expecting. So it's going to be hard to know what way. I'd say the personnel, particularly at 9, will depend on the game that's going to be played.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
and-
see
Yeah.
him.
And in terms of Adam Byrne starting, absolutely, I would go with Adam Byrne. I would go with, depending if everyone's fit, Adam Byrne and Issa on the wings.
Yeah.
But like Kirshner seems to be you know, he played at the weekend, but didn't have a particularly brilliant game.
Didn't have a bad game either.
He was okay.
He was okay, but
He was
I mean, these are the games that you
functional.
want
That's
your
what I'm saying. That's my point.
Springbok International to shine.
Step up,
I'd-
yeah.
You know, I'm not expecting him to be the best player in the park when we play against Toulon or Northampton even.
But against
Jeez,
Dragons.
against Dragons, you want him to be. Prove to me that you're worth
Yeah.
30 odd caps for the Springboks.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Jason.
Yeah. So, but like, so we've won one, lost one, but we got that crucial
Away
losing
bonus point, yeah.
bonus point away from home against against Montpellier, whereas they were stuffed by Cast
Yeah.
in their away match
Yeah.
and got nothing out of it.
Yeah, well, if we can beat them this week, it really does.
It's crucial
take
that
a lot of
we get something
pressure.
out of this game. Yeah.
Like anything less than 2 points, whether it be a draw or a high-scoring loss by a few points, it would be a disaster as far as I'm concerned. Like getting one away, losing
Well, it would take
away
away.
bonus points.
Wouldn't be a disaster in terms of but what it would do is it take away any wiggle room you had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you'd have to go out and murder the two French teams, and you'd have to obviously try and get 5 points out of your home game in Lansdowne Road. So yeah, I see this as a kind of a must-win game, but I see it as a can-win game too. I mean, I don't know what I say we're favourites, but we can't be far off. Being
Well, this
favourites, depending on the
kind of
bodies
tell
we
us
get.
where we're at, kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we have suspicions that we're on the right track. We saw it against Munster, we saw it against Castres, we saw it against Montpellier away. But if we could go away and win a game in England, where it's not easy to win games, it never has been easy to win games, and do it in a certain way, then maybe we are actually on the track we think we're on.
Yeah.
But the 4 matches in the autumn internationals really disrupt our season. You know, we were getting that bit of momentum coming up into the Champions Cup games,
Yeah.
and then we just lose so many players to the international setup. Like they lost 4, and maybe George North and a couple of others for different other
Well,
countries.
they lost a lot more than 4 over the course of the thing, but they'd 4 in the last game, so they'd 4 out for their trip to the Tigers.
But on the other hand, I mean, I agree with you completely. But the swing to that roundabout is that we have 17 internationals who are good enough. We have basically the Irish team,
Yeah.
with the exception of a few, or guys who are good enough to be an Irish team coming back in.
With the
Yeah.
Irish pack.
Yeah, and that it's
Add
not like
add one second
they don't
row
need
or
massive
whatever.
reintegration because they've all been playing with one another anyway. So hey, so the integration process is actually
That's
a bit
true.
smoother because the units are used to playing together.
Yeah.
I mean, Ringrose has been playing with Henshaw. He's been away with Henshaw in the Irish camp, and all this kind of stuff. So
And they've both been playing with Sexton.
the
Well,
downside is
25th.
Carberry.
Carberry.
the downside is that we're down 17 players for this 4-game period. The other side of that is we have 17 international class players coming back in.
That's true.
Swings and roundabouts.
So turning our
Snakes and daggers.
attention
Upsetting
to the
apple tart
other
again.
to the other fixtures. Tasty one up in Belfast. Ulster take on Claremont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how Ulster will find a way to lose this one. What new and novel way will Ulster find to
I don't think
screw
they'll have to
this
try
one up?
too hard, to be honest with you.
No. They have to find a way to do it special.
Well, Claremont look to be particularly good at the moment over in France.
Top of the league, aren't
Yeah.
they? So, yeah, I if Ulster pull this one off, my admiration for them will go up.
It's very hard to do it without a pack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Rory Best, Ian Henderson,
And a few
however
mates.
much of Chris Henry is fit against the rest. And in terms of a pack, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all they have. They've nothing else.
Coetzee might be ready for the final 2 rounds of the Europe, as far as I remember. Haven't heard any updates on them recently, but yeah, they're in bother. And Dan Toohey has left already to go to Bristol and take up with Pat Lam.
To see how many weeks he can play without being suspended.
Well, he's actually from Bristol, as far as I know. He was born and bred there.
He
Even though
just
he's an
couldn't.
Irish
He just
international.
couldn't get by without that trip hop sound.
There you go. So Ulster, yeah, I don't fancy them. I do fancy Munster, however, against the Tigers.
They take on Tigers, yeah. So that's a very famous fixture. There's been some
Yeah.
epic games.
First team to win.
Evocative. It's an evocative
Evocative,
fixture.
yeah.
First
Like
team to win in Thomond Park. And
they were, and then there was
Nine
some
good.
cracking matches over in Welford Road. There was the
Yeah.
final, of course, the hand back, and
there was the one where in Welford Road where Rog
Kicked
took
the goal
a
from
conversion
halfway.
from his
That's right,
own
yeah.
half, just a bit. Yeah, I think Munster are coming into a nice bit of form with, as you were saying earlier,
A new
a
team.
new team. Like they're really kind of built from the ground up. They've now all those stars of 10 years and 8 years ago are gone pretty much. I mean, who's there now? Nobody. Keith Earls wasn't even.
Yeah, he's the only link really to that team, isn't
I
he?
don't think he was even in that team. Did he debut
He
during
played,
the last time?
he played in 2000, yeah, he played in
He played in
2008.
08.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he played in the final, but he
I
played in
don't
08.
think so. He wouldn't have been in the starting team.
Got his
right?
cap against Fiji in 08, I believe.
That's right.
He made his debut for Munster in that. I mean, he would have played on
Canada. Sorry,
Yeah,
Canada.
Canada.
The Thomond
He
Park.
played on that team. He didn't get. He played on that team, but
So
he's the last link. I mean, you look at it. Rogers gone, Stringer's gone, front row, second row, back row, all gone.
Yeah.
Centre's gone.
So, like, that's a positive. It's a negative, but it's also a positive. I mean, well, the guys would be 50 if they were still there, but B, it's good that they're starting their own
Yeah.
from the
Well,
ground up.
Here's the thing. I mean, we were talking about Ulster just a second ago, and we were talking about this before we came on air. That Munster team went on, and it began to fall apart, and it began to lose a lot of games.
Mm.
And what they did was, instead of trying to patch it up, they scrubbed it and started again.
Yeah.
Ulster haven't done that. That Ulster team has been losing games since 2012. And
Before that, they were beaten, in semi.
2006,
But they were beaten in. Sorry, they were beaten in quarterfinals of
Oh, yeah.
European Cup matches leading up to that. When they should have.
Always seem to be Saracens.
yeah. But that team, we say with Darren Kay, with the younger centres, with Pienaar, and then a plethora of actual foreign players as well. But they never went away and scrubbed that team and started from scratch again the way that Munster have. Munster are beginning to. I still don't think Munster are all that great yet. I still think they're callow.
Not far off.
I still think they're callow, but I don't think they're a bad team. I just think they're inexperienced. Whereas I think Ulster are a bad team and have to go away and get rid of. Well, Pienaar's been taken away from them. He's the only thing keeping them. Pienaar, Rory Best are the only thing
Henderson.
keeping that team. Well, he's a young player. Still, people forget how young
Payne
Henderson
is
is.
and Payne is gone now.
Yeah, Payne is
Yeah,
injured.
Payne
People
is
forget there's 2 or 3 players in keeping that Ulster team just going through sheer force of will. Maybe the same way that Rog and Paul O'Connell kept that Munster team going through sheer force of will.
But Munster needed those two guys to nearly go,
Oh yeah,
and then they could kind
same
of.
way,
Like,
same
it's
way
hard
we
to
needed
kind.
Darcy to go and we needed O'Driscoll to go, before we could start.
Rebuilding.
You know?
Yeah. Interesting concept.
We did speak about Connacht.
It's like a forest fire. It's a natural occurrence. A forest fire that burns. Only through burning can the new growth start. Maybe Ulster need to.
Amen, brother.
Wasps take on Connacht.
Ouch. That'll be a bit of a stinger.
Well, we'll see how they react to Lamb's news.
Yeah.
Hopefully with great gusto.
Well, after having been over in Coventry for the last 2 seasons, we know that it's a tough old place to go to get anything out of there.
If my,
I was
flight
trying to
didn't
look
leave.
up and see if there was somewhere in Connacht called either Broadway or Broadford, but I couldn't because I wanted to do a joke about the Genesis album, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, but I
Okay.
couldn't. Yeah, so anyway.
I don't see Connacht triumphing where lots of others failed over in Coventry. It's a tough ask. I mean, I don't even see Leinster or many teams
Yeah,
get
it's a hard place to
anywhere.
go.
Saracens beat them, I think, there, and they're pretty much the best team in Europe officially. If my flight was leaving a little bit later, I might go to the game, but unfortunately, I won't make it to the airport from.
It'll be an entertaining game because Wasps really do play an open brand of rugby.
Yeah,
Maybe it's why
entertaining for Wasps
Yeah,
fans.
maybe it's why Wasps get picked off by Saracens actually, because Saracens can close them down, whereas not
Yeah.
very few can.
I'd love to see Connacht go and beat them there and make a fool of me now. I really
Yeah,
would be
so
the
same here,
happiest
but
fool
I'll tell you,
in
if Connacht
Galway.
play the way that they usually play and can play, and Wasps stay true to how they're playing, it could be
Could be a cracking game.
cracking game to watch.
Yeah, we hope so. So that game was kind of one of the last games on the Sunday, isn't it? So
Yeah.
let's kind of bring the curtain down to the
Well, there's a couple of other matches I want to talk about.
Anglo-Irish.
Montpellier Cast obviously has significance for
Resonance.
our group.
Nil all draw would do me fine.
Yeah, it would be.
Just as long as one team win each of the next 2 games, I don't really care what the score is. I don't want either team to win both. And if either team has to win both, can it be Cast? Because we've already beaten them. So yeah, that's about the height of that.
and the one final game is Racing against Glasgow. Unfortunately, Glasgow, you always expect them to do reasonably well considering their Pro 12 teams in the last couple of years.
And they never do.
But they never do. And this season, they're sixth in the league in the Pro 12.
Well, they went out and hockeyed Leicester
Yeah.
in the first game. And
They
look,
did.
oh my God, look at that. And then went down to Munster, admittedly in difficult circumstances, and got shamed.
But hard to be the bad guys in that game,
Oh,
though,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. But I mean, you can be nice and not,
And not lose.
as Fleahula put the scoring as they were.
Win respectfully.
Yeah, yeah. You can lose respectfully. But anyway, so that really put the kibosh on the European ambitions for this year, I think.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, one other piece of news, when I was just looking at some of the fixtures, was on the Champions Cup website. I noticed that Newcastle are in the bidding process now to host the 2018 final.
Oh, really?
So I
I
had great plans.
Get your shots.
I had great plans and ambitions that someday Newcastle
The locals.
Newcastle could
You've been
manage
talking
to
about
get
this for
up.
years,
I
actually,
have,
you
yes,
have,
could somehow manage to get up the Aviva Premiership table to qualify for the European Cup. And I think they're seventh at the moment, so they might qualify by right. But to get to final in Newcastle would be ideal for me.
What's her name again? Tasty Rita from
Actually,
Newcastle.
one other piece of interesting news as it pertains to Leinster was that Colin Marsh, who's been injured anyway, was deregistered.
And
Ross Byrne has replaced him, so he'll probably be on the bench.
There's a shock.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, well, it had to be done, so he'll probably be on the bench. Yeah, Newcastle, I mean, it's a great ground. James Park is a great ground. It proved its
It's right in the middle of the city as well.
it proved its credentials with the World Cup.
What's the capacity though?
It's about 50,000.
Oh, it's a huge ground.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Newcastle have a huge ground, and there's plenty of pubs, plenty of hotel rooms. Grand, I don't know.
And there's options to fly into Edinburgh
Into
and go
Edinburgh,
down
Yeah.
as well as
It's
North England.
well train linked. I mean, Newcastle is a major rail hub in the UK. So
You could nearly walk, man.
I wouldn't- in your jacket.
From Bombay or what?
It's got a your Fijian accent.
But no, it'd be great to have a new city like that. I still want to see an Italian final.
Yeah, it would be fantastic
Yeah.
too. And it's a
The
shame
road
because
one.
there was supposed
The
to be
road one, yeah.
one
Yeah.
in Milan or Rome, wasn't
San
it?
Siro or
Yeah.
not San Siro. I think it was Milan or wherever it was.
It was either the San Siro or the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza. Same ground.
Okay.
Great stuff. Anyway, boys, as ever, thanks a million and thanks very much for watching. Cheers.